Okay. Are you all set, Marcy?
Yes, I just need to get internet connection reconnected.
You're in?
Yep.
Okie dokie. Any discussion about the minutes from last meeting? Do I have a motion to accept? Accept. Second? Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. First up is planning budget, and Bonnie is here to answer any of our questions. And I just had one question when I was looking at it. Operating expenses, it says less than 1,000, blah, blah, blah. The board has voted to decrease the budget, but the budget amounts are the same.
Yes.
No, that's a Judy question.
Okay,
So-
Judy, yeah.
So the comments on the right-hand side of the budget committee's comments, not the board of selectmen's comments.
Okay,
And the 2024 planning board proposed budget is what they presented. And then beside that, I added a column and presented a different budget. The selectmen in the third column voted to go with my column,
okay,
and you'll see my notes in red down below.
okay.
So they did reduce what they submitted into us.
And the potential developments are actual like developments, not like
Big.
developments within
We have
the
some,
planning board, but we have some big projects, yeah. That could be coming down the pipeline.
and we, our thought is that we just want to make sure they have the resources they need to and be able to utilize them.
And not have to worry about.
You want to chime in, Bonnie, on any of your?
No, the planning board voted at the last meeting, and I wasn't present. Margaret chaired it. They they want to be conservative. They want to we want to operate as frugally and efficiently as we can. We are not aware at this point of needing to hire a consultant or a lawyer. We're not aware. We're not in the middle of anything. The town is growing so fast that something might come up, but we have no knowledge of any need. We do need the extra money for salaries. We are very happy with Kathy and the service she's providing, and we do need about 10 hours of her time. We can't do it on volunteerism anymore. I used to do, Margaret and I and the members used to try to do it all. We just can't do it and do it right. We realize that, so we wholeheartedly endorse adding money for payroll. And I understand the $800 that she is a town employee and would qualify for any raises or so, but we're totally unaware of that. We're not involved in that, so I get the 800. The rest of the budget, we were just trying to be as frugal as we can be and do not have any knowledge of the need for a consultant or a lawyer or anything at this moment in time.
Right, we have some big acres, large acres up ahead of us that are for sale with potential developments. And there's rumors on the street. We don't have anything official. And there's a couple pieces of property like that, but in the grand scheme of things, $1,000 if you need legal counsel.
It's not.
Any,
Consultant fee.
consultant fees, you know, so we were just, I just was worried, about reducing those.
And
Just
it's
in
one of
case.
those, the money's there, if they don't need it, don't need it, it goes back to the general fund, so.
So that's just, that's why and I had
Yeah.
actually had this conversation with Bonnie, that I
Yes.
was going to, present a different one, just because I was worried.
And we appreciate that thought. I'm presenting the planning board's, more frugal budget. We're hoping we're gonna continue to stay out of, harm's way and need lawyers. We're hoping that, and we're doing a lot of the things ourselves, like, the rewrite of the subdivision regulation. We do it ourselves. We do not hire a consultant. The master plan, we do it ourselves. We're not anticipating hiring North Country Council or any other consultant. At this time, we're not aware. I mean, the need might come up, we might, but we're trying to do everything ourselves, all of our documents, our vision statement and so forth. We're trying to do it in-house.
Well, that's,
So that's it.
Does anyone have any questions?
Just a simple one, but it doesn't matter today, but when we vote, will we vote on Bonnie's budget or Judy's budget?
Well, the side when you go.
Okay,
you're gonna vote on Bonnie's budget or the selectmen's budget, so I probably should have removed my middle line there.
Yeah.
Just so you guys didn't get confused with that, but I just wanted you to know how we got to where we were at.
Okay,
Thank you, Bonnie.
thank you.
Next up is the building inspector budget.
It's the same, that's been. We didn't really add the 3% to the payroll because we, as you can see from the. Current expense sheet, we're not really hitting, but we need to budget that just in case he does, and we will have one more bill from him. For the end of the year, but if some of these projects coming forward do. Out in the next fiscal year, we'll need them.
and does he only get paid when he does inspection? He doesn't get like a weekly thing?
He doesn't get yeah, he submits his hours and he gets paid by those hours.
And so there's always submit them all.
He's very generous with his time.
Yes.
Thank
And
you.
we've tried to say, submit your time.
Yeah.
And that's usually what he comes up with, so.
Any questions? Discussion. Moving on to the library budget.
So Wendy is just, she's actually flying in from Florida. And Judy, I spoke with Judy Boyle. They decided to let us present the budget because there really wasn't any alarming changes. And said that they would come before you guys if you felt the need. And I think pretty much it's pretty
straightforward.
pretty straightforward other than the raises.
Yeah.
Minor tweaks here and there, but
Now, the library programs, that increased, but they're already over that, you know,
she has
so,
offsetting grants that come in to cover the overage.
okay.
And they still got, and this is the end, when does this? When did you print this out? 11/28. I mean, we still got $21,000 in there balance.
Yeah, some of the payroll, she hasn't been fully staffed for quite a bit of the year.
Oh, that's right. So we
Mhm.
left. Okay, all right. Technically, there's nothing we can do about that budget, is there?
Not really.
No.
It's by law,
Well, you
state
can
law.
present two different budgets, the trustees can present one, it's really the selectmen that don't really have a lot of say in that budget. they work very well together as a courtesy. You guys and the trustees could present two different budgets if you didn't agree with their budget. You do have that right.
We're very fortunate that we have a library that has a very minimal budget.
Yeah,
We do.
I think it works too, because it's in our building, we absorb a lot of the costs, so
It helps keep.
Well, they're doing a lot of great, like, I'm seeing more programs, that's,
They
you know,
are.
which is good, it's getting the community involved and the kids and.
they do try, and they're trying to get more people here. Maybe you see an increase too in the housing comes. I think you'll see more people attending activities or family bringing their children, I'm hoping.
Judy, how much is in their capital reserve?
Oh my goodness, I looked at that too.
We did.
I looked at that like 2 days ago, I can't remember.
And I can't either, so.
Oh,
Can't help you.
Give me 2 seconds, I can tell you.
There's certainly enough to cover the purchases that they've outlined.
Yeah.
26.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would hope there's enough.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like much more.
And really, if they needed something, they still got 21 in there that they could spend.
Are they posting for a position? Like, are they looking where they've
Roughly
had staffing
17.5.
shortages?
Oh, they've got money in there.
Yeah, they do.
Is there, or maybe this is a question for them at some point, is there a reason to continue to contribute? I mean, 2,000 is a lot, but to contribute that, if they're not, like, looking at her capital outlay for computers and stuff. You're talking 5 years out. If we keep contributing $2,000, it's gonna, what we're contributing is actually gonna pay for this stuff, so there'll still be that 17. Are there big expenses that would come down the pipe that they would need more than $15,000 or $20,000 in that?
I don't know,
Okay.
you know, maybe if something happened to one of their computers that was unexpected, or
Yeah.
machines that were, you know, I think you gotta plan for the unexpected.
Yeah.
You can do your best. I have heard her talk, about wanting to bring in like a Cricut machine station, a 3D printer station.
Okay.
I have heard those conversations, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of that is for some of those things. I don't wanna speak for them.
Yeah, no.
But I have heard those ideas be tossed around and.
Nice.
Any more questions or discussion?
I'm just looking at those prices at 2026 prices and the 2028 prices.
Yeah, I don't think
I
they're
think-
realistic.
No, I think they're gonna be way higher than that. at that
I-
point.
Oh, for sure,
I don't.
we just got a used.
I mean, even
copy,
right now.
And it
the
was
copier scanner-
$2,600.
Yeah, we just bought one for the office and it was like $1,000,
I agree.
so,
I think they were just trying to put something together.
yeah, so.
Even a laptop at $1,000 to run some of these programs, you need a better laptop.
Well, I can tell you, we just bought a laptop with all the programs for $2,200.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
so those prices need to be doubled at least just now.
Are they on the certified network? So they purchased theirs separately and they're not on our maintenance plan or
Yeah,
anything?
and that's by their choice. If
Okay,
they choose to do that. We have offered that.
okay. Very good.
Okay, next up, Conservation Commission budget. Kristen, welcome.
Thank you.
May I ask what the kiosks?
Absolutely. Okay. You guys remember from over a year ago now, this whole Miriam Woods, Russell Crag climbing thing blew up.
Mm-hmm.
So, we've been spending a lot of time trying to figure out how to manage that land for what we feel as the commission was intended in the warranty deed. So among that is this idea of, you know, leaving it in a pretty natural state, climbing aside, right, in the goals or anything, but, you know, leaving it in a state. And what we wanted to do was honor the Miriams with something about what the land was, who donated it, etc. So these are the kiosks. It would also have information like when they actually closed for Peregrine Falcons, if we find, we're going into the thought of doing some sort of a forestry management, which is part of the budget to hire a forester to come up with a management plan there, a stewardship plan. And if we were gonna do that, then we could lay out in the kiosk, for instance, you know, where we're asking for closure because we're gonna have, forest, you know, logs cut or whatever may happen. So we thought that these informational kiosks, and we started with one, which would be at the, near the gate where people have been going in. And then we found out that a climbing community is trying to purchase land just on the other side of Miriam Woods in Thornton. And they want to build a parking lot. So we want a kiosk there. That just has like, because I think it's going to increase the traffic, the foot traffic in there. And so it serves two purposes. One would be informational for things going on, and the other would be really talking about the land and what it is and what we want it to be. Yeah.
Thank you.
And they have there's regulations, you have a conservation easement on this, and they're required to do certain things, and it's kind of been. We haven't had to really do much. So, anyways, they're required to do this stuff, and to make sure that this land is used for a purpose in education.
It's intended use,
It's
right?
in the deed.
And so we want to make sure that there's things like no camping listed on that kiosk, like everything that was in the deed.
Carry in, carry out.
Yep.
Yeah, there's.
Yeah.
Where would the trail cams be set up?
So the trail cams, the idea there is, we want to do this because there's all discussion about how much the land's being used, which paths are being taken, which rocks are being climbed, but we don't know. So, the idea of getting trail cams would be to kind of help monitor usage. So we have an understanding of what is potentially being used, overused, not really used, and that type of thing. So for like this debate still about cutting some bolts out and reducing the footprint of the climbing. And we would do that only if we see that there are places that aren't really being used, you know, that type of thing. It's all a work in progress.
And a good chunk of this is for forestry, right? We have
Yes.
to harvest.
Well, that's not even the harvesting, that's just to develop a stewardship plan. So, a company who does this, a guy named Kevin Lemire and the company. And they're doing the forestry down at my dad's land on Route 3. He's good, but he already did a preliminary walkthrough just to see what was going on. And he said there's a lot of potential here for selective cutting, for forest health, for wildlife habitat. Plus there's the potential to actually harvest for money. In one portion, it's been about 25 years, he thinks, since it was last cut based on how it looks. And then, so that's what he would help us do, is develop a plan to manage it per the deed's request.
Any other questions? Discussion? Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the time that you've been putting in on that too. It's wonderful.
I really do cheeseburger need to thank.
I do. I talk to him quite a bit about it in the morning.
Pass along to the whole committee.
Don't forget your coat.
I lost your coat. It's not even funny. No,
Oh,
it's
no.
somewhere in this town.
You should use the office, because she calls and tells.
Okay, so that's the end of that, but we should, do we wanna go through the appropriations that they're gonna come and tell us about next week?
Wow.
As well,
Yeah.
so we get it,
Oh, perfect, there it is.
Yeah, so
I'm
the
like-
first one there, 4411. Health welfare, that's last year's, just so you kind of have a reference
Okay,
of what was appropriated last year.
What are they, are we not?
So
So
you
we
don't,
haven't
you don't
proposed
have this,
anything for
right,
twenty
you
twenty-four.
haven't- right,
Okay.
so when we
And you're
all,
gonna-
next week,
you're gonna lump Linwood ambulance in there instead of doing a separate budget?
no, it's a separate one,
It is a
should
separate
load
one.
it up after,
Oh,
there you go.
oh, okay. But I thought I saw on the thing that they were asking for 137,500.
I saw that too.
They are, they're. I haven't updated these, I'm just showing you what you did last year.
Right,
Oh,
so you have
okay.
a reference. to
Got
look
it.
at.
Got it, okay.
I don't
Cause
know.
I had asked too, I'm like, I'm looking at, I wanted to know what we had given in the past.
Do we know how many people are coming? Have anybody responded?
A few, but no, some of them just, they got the email, so I'm not sure.
I know the ambulance is coming. Yeah, John's coming. John's coming.
So let's go down through these, Immanusick Community Health,
That is not one that we've done in the past,
Oh, this is a new one.
I'm pretty sure it is. Correct.
Yeah, cause it doesn't have the prior year.
Right.
Right,
That is a.
I can tell you, if it would be easier, I can tell you the ones that we've done in the past.
do we have a set dollar amount, either per, like in sum? That we like then can like back into that number?
So this past year, I added it up and we spent 22, in that 4411 for the health and welfare budget,
Okay,
it was 22,500. I think when I added those up.
not including the ambulance.
That, right,
Right,
not including the
just-
ambulance and not including direct assistance. Because direct assistance is done here through the town office,
But I'm looking at, yeah,
or the Humane Society or Health Administration.
correct me if I'm wrong, does anyone see where it says how many Woodstock residents it helps?
I don't see 'em.
this, no,
Some
I
of
did
them-
see some of them did,
Yeah,
like
but
specifically
this one I
state.
didn't.
And they have been asked to present that to you guys when they
Mhm.
come. So they don't have it here.
I mean, to me, that's one of the most important pieces of information.
I know in conversation last year, when they increased from 75 to 125. They said, because it had been
So long.
so long, again, 3 or 4 years since we had done it, we had suggested that maybe they look at 5% every year, starting to keep it in line or in check. I think their request this year is 10%. Okay, all right,
And I think, when John comes to present this, I
yeah,
think you guys will all like him.
Okay.
He has his business degree and he's good.
Are we back on the ambulance?
Yeah.
Oh.
I
we were
thought
at
we
ambulance.
introduced it.
yeah.
So,
I said ambulance again, so that's why, sorry. No.
so back to Amity.
So they're asking for $500.
Yeah,
I mean, the closest one is up in Franconia. And then it's over in
there's one in
Littleton.
Littleton,
Littleton, Franconia, and over, what's over the mountain, 118 there? There's one there.
Warren,
Havel?
Warren.
I don't see.
So they
think
like
so.
a mid-state, is that what they are?
No.
No,
No,
No.
No,
It's a,
but they're doctor, they're
Oh, yeah,
not,
they're all
not
doctors.
primary,
And they have-
primary care.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
and
Yeah.
dental. They added dental too,
Mhm.
Littleton at least.
For Amanuset?
Mm-hmm,
Oh, I don't know that.
I know Mid-State did.
yeah,
I'm
it's
not
right
sure that's
near,
what we wanna open.
Mid-State is right up on.
well, Amanuset is right on the,
Yeah, I think
near the old
Mid-State
hospital.
Dental is just down the road from. I think that's where, I know they have one there. But it doesn't say,
So it's just to help with their sliding fee schedule.
but they don't say how many they have.
Yeah.
How
many
Benefited
from
our
area
community.
they help
Woodstock,
No,
from Woodstock.
so
so,
if they present, hopefully they'll have that piece of information.
They've been asked,
Yeah,
you guys can ask, you know, that's what they're coming for, so I would just make notes. Maybe get your questions together for each of them, so you. That's why I kind of put them here, so that
mhm.
you guys could see and maybe get the questions you wanted from. Or you just ask them all the same when they kind of come through, what do you do, or how many people you help, and be pretty. I don't know, I can tell you the ones we use the most. But that's the thing with some of these, I don't know, they could be helping our people and I'm just not aware of it.
See, like Mid-State, it says right in their thing, 179.
I think, when you read that though, I think that just means they have 179 patients from
Right.
Woodstock.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that we're,
Not that they're helping
getting aid,
Right.
Hey,
yeah, they're just, some of them have
I go to
insurance and pay
Amanuset,
their own bills.
And I pay.
Right.
It's like,
Midstate has 3 of my households, so.
Yeah,
So it's like,
yeah, and I go to Amanuset, I use insurance and then I pay my bill,
Yeah,
same thing, so
Right.
you could consider me a Woodstock person, but I'm not one receiving aid.
hey,
Mhm.
exactly,
Yeah.
that's the
That's the
key
key.
thing. How many are getting aid?
But I wonder if that's a HIPAA issue.
If you don't
That's
say
it's
the
not
name, I don't
specific
think-
people,
Without a
they
name,
should have that data.
yeah,
They can say what type of services they're offering and how many people from Woodstock are receiving those services.
Services.
I would think, I don't.
okay, next up, Bridge House.
Bridge House is gonna look kind of funky, they are swamped down there. And they were struggling to even get the paperwork to me, and they have some staff out. But I can tell you that we use, I was just looking at her form, I could tell she was struggling because. I use these guys all the time, even if, I think they put down here in-house people. But this is a huge resource for me, so even if they don't stay there, they're helping me.
Find
Find
services.
the services I need to get them, I mean. They drove somebody, they housed a person, I had a handicapped homeless person. On a couch for me, drove them to Boston Airport. And helped me get them on a plane back home. So there's things like that behind the scenes that. They do for me, so this is a huge one, even if they don't have their paperwork together. This girl was actually trying to fill in for Kathy, is out and they're swamped right now.
But she does say right here that in 2023,
they have 2 women.
yeah, that 100, so it was $31,200.
And they're only asking for
2,000, so it's a drop in a bucket.
Right, and I have the
That's really good.
paperwork, it looks a little different, Judy was struggling from. That they submitted, like Plymouth gives $10,000, they get. A lot more assistance.
This is a dumb question while you're looking at that, but under the list of municipalities that they help, Woodstock not even listed.
I know,
I noticed
they
that
helped me out, like services
Because
area,
it's neighboring communities is how I read it.
But Lincoln's in there, Waterville's in there, Thornton's in there.
Oh, I thought this
She
was
has-
like let me in on the conference room.
Right, so I switched, me too, so I
So
switched to
now I'm on the
MPL.
WTH guest.
And that's kicking you out too?
That's the one that keeps kicking me out.
I'm on
That's what the
MPL
problem
and
was
it's
last night.
going.
I'm on the conference room, you're on MPL.
Cause it kicked me off a conference room.
Okay, I'm back.
So weird.
I'm on MPL.
I'm on the conference room, and I haven't been kicked off at all.
What?
And I usually get kicked off all the time. Oh, why did I do that?
And when would ambulance last year? So that is up. Right,
Yeah.
Yes.
It's up
Yes.
about 10%.
12.5.
Yeah, it's up 10%.
Yeah.
So the total count of clients on the ambulance, is that Woodstock or is that total?
I'm gonna say it's gonna be total.
No, that's the total amount of people that we
Yeah.
transported.
Okay,
So it could be, just people visiting, there's an act, like the big accident we had up on 93 here, and it was like 60. I don't know, our ambulances, and Thomas said we're gonna drive one because we just didn't have enough staff and everything, but. That's how many people for the whole year.
Now, whether she could break
in all
that down
cases
to how many would just,
would stop.
see, there's a lot of things too that, like, when they go out, just help somebody. Just help them out of falling, that's.
And they don't take them anywhere.
If they don't transport them, we don't get paid, but yet we've had to pay the crew and keep the ambulance running,
right.
which we have the most expensive gas in the town. I mean, in the state.
Yeah.
I mean, you can either go on highway and get cheaper gas.
Yeah,
It's sad, pretty sad. But they probably have to pay their employees too.
So you're on the board?
Yes.
Steve's on the board.
Yeah, and how many?
You're on the board. How's that gonna work when you guys vote?
ooh,
They have to abstain.
We have to
They'll
abstain.
say-
but we won't have a quorum.
We have a quorum.
Cause 1, 2, 3,
You can vote.
because there's not a quorum,
Mhm.
and that would 4 would give them a quorum.
Mhm. I'll confirm that, but I
Okay.
believe you chime in at that, I
Yeah.
believe, you know.
And that would be a reminder
that
for all of these, anybody that sits on those boards.
So I would have to
You would
abstain
have
from
to
bridge crossing.
abstain, yeah, anything that you're tied to, you should. To keep it clean, abstain from it.
But give you input.
Yes, you can give your input.
Well, you guys can ask
Yeah.
me questions, cause
Right,
I'm on the
right,
board, so.
yeah.
The
You should
same
just
way
abstain
that
from the
Helen
vote.
and I are saying, it's just. It's. I was thinking that when I was thinking the fact that we're all, they asked me, because the 3 of us are all executive board members. The only one that's not on our board here is Meg. With all the secretary, she's the treasurer and she's vice president.
So, just keep that in mind.
Next up, mid-state.
So they just sent in a letter, they didn't send in your.
I
form,
sent
right?
them, I emailed the form again. I have an invitation to the meeting, so I'm not sure.
179 patients. For Woodstock, yeah.
I wish I could go to Lincoln, but my doctor is only in Plymouth and I don't wanna switch.
No, you
But if you
don't.
haven't, no, you met him. The one that's up here. Okay, anyways, oh, yes, yes. But if you need an emergency, you can go up here.
Yeah.
They didn't even have any blood work done up here too.
Not if you're a Plymouth patient.
Wow.
At least as of the end of October, that was how it
I
was.
was wondering, okay.
Any discussion or questions? Moving on to North Country Center for the Arts.
We normally give to them.
Yes. We've given them 3,000 over the last couple of years. They have. I can't speak specifically for them, but just knowing in the relationship that I have with them. The tourism sector, I've been trying to do a lot more to engage and invite and have locals from the community participate and provide them that opportunity. I believe they have Friday night, local nights this past summer for the shows and discounted rates, so they're trying to.
It's pretty hard till construction's over with, till to get, they have a hard time getting people in there. All that.
Well, it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of top down now.
It's,
You gotta know about it to
Yeah.
get.
Going to the Christmas Carol next week.
I mean, see?
once it's all done, you're supposed to do up everything to make it nice, so it's accessible. I think it will help the theater tremendously. Once
Mhm.
the whole area gets cleaned up.
Any more questions or discussions? Moving on to North Country Home Health. This isn't one we usually do, is it?
Yes, it is.
It is?
And hospice.
Yeah.
And they're asking for 2750.
Which is the same as last year.
Oh, they actually gave us good stuff numbers.
Yeah.
6.
Do you use them for support, Judy?
I don't per se, I refer people to them, you know. And I don't know what happens. I think this is a lot of in-home healthcare. I'm actually surprised that number is so low. I'm not sure if there's another agency in here helping as well.
I think Penny Baker does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I
Cause
think.
that's,
Cause it used to be, I
And we
think,
haven't been given.
and I think. Penny Baker always had the hospice.
mhm.
Penny Baker's in Mid-State. Like they have a,
In there, I think.
yeah,
And I think they, you know, they might be doing more in this area, but I'm really not sure. That's why it would be nice to hear from them when they come.
They're number 9, they need against both on their whole.
Yeah, I think it's totals.
Yeah, I think, but I've been hearing about them quite a bit in this area.
Any questions or discussion? Next up, Red Crop.
No, Penny Baker.
Penny Baker. Penny Baker, I think, gave us totals, not Woodstock.
That's what you were just saying, right? Kind of
Yeah.
I know they had at least one. Cause they came up for Rocky.
I think these referrals happen a lot from the hospitals,
Mm-hmm.
and they're set up through the hospitals, so we're not aware.
Did we give to Penny Baker last year?
We did,
Did you say we did?
We
or
did?
didn't?
we did not.
Did not, okay.
It's like Blanken gives. Any questions or discussion? Moving on to Red Cross.
Red Cross seemed just like their flyer.
That's probably all you're gonna get. But I'll tell you, when you're in the middle of a hurricane or something,
They come through,
you want them, yeah. What they did for us in our, both the hurricanes was unbelievable, so. Alright, I mean, they show up for other events, if somebody.
We
God
hope
forbid,
one was
fire.
Yeah, I saw that.
Two
Two people,
individuals
one,
during one event.
yeah.
I'm not sure. If there's fires, you know, and people are displaced or displaced or. They show up for a multitude of things, but. They're impressive, I'll tell you. They never ask for more, it's always, is it?
$7.50.
It's been that for a few years.
Any other questions or discussion? Next up, Transport Central.
We use these guys quite a bit, I don't know what the number might not be this year. Last year, they transported an individual to every cancer treatment they had from Woodstock to St. Johnsbury. Sometimes daily. They're,
So basically, when they said they have 5 clients, they had 5 clients, but they might have done something every week for them.
yes,
Mhm.
and again, the price of gas on one account, was $750.
And sometimes we drive
Right? And
Mhm.
some of
Yeah.
them-
on a daily basis.
and I mean, a lot of these people are, I'm not aware of these people, so they're being set up by another agency. That's utilizing them, you know, so,
Did we give in the past?
yes,
We did, I think, the same thing last year, right?
I believe so.
I got it right here. Transport, yeah, $750.
I was shocked it didn't go up.
Right, like I said. with
Yeah.
the
Gas
cost
and the
of
wear and
gas.
tear of vehicles and
Yep.
just trying to get. They're always very responsive.
Okay, any questions or discussion? Next up, Tri-County Cap.
They're just huge. They, just with the heating assistance that they give and the electrical assistance that they give is worth their leading goal. It does, yeah. It's,
It's an odd number, yeah.
Yeah,
Why not just go to 3 or 2,500, you know?
But if you look at all the other ones,
I was
they're
gonna
all
say, and then
at
if you look at-
$8 numbers
yeah,
like that too. So
Lincoln's
they must have
like
done a
33,
percentage or
yeah.
something.
some formula.
Yeah.
And that total count of clients,
I bet you that's Woodstock.
you think that's just Woodstock alone?
Mhm.
Pretty close.
They sent the channel.
So it says it's town Lincoln up there,
Yeah,
but I mean, I bet we're in the ballpark.
she probably. Why is that one, it says town of
Because
Woodstock?
isn't this form the exact same one that
We-
Lincoln does?
It is. We would have
That's,
never done
that's,
this.
yeah, that's,
so they
because
filled
we
it
did
out
that
for
on the
Lincoln and
ambulance
then
last year. That's,
It's like our welfare guidelines, we try to mirror each other.
Yeah.
because Back in the day, maybe 10 years ago or so, they were trying to play both sides of the fence, so we created our guidelines and the application.
Yeah.
To mirror.
That's a good idea.
Any other questions or discussion? Next up, Voices Against Violence.
this one has a lot.
In Woodstock alone, Voices provided 272 services to 10 survivors.
A lot of times this will get appointed at court. They'll appoint an advocate or bring in Voices Against Violence to assist. Or advocate for whatever's going on. It starts with probably. We've had a lot of domestic violence cases lately. I know that. If,
Did we give to this from last year?
we did not.
Was there a reason?
We haven't received an application, have we?
It's funny, in their letter, they say they're asking for $1,650, but in the actual form, it says $550.
I don't think they like probably the standard form that they were trying to change the numbers based on the this one.
So what are they asking for?
Is that you?
550.
yeah, because that's what they say Lincoln's doing too.
Look at Thornton.
Yeah, I know. Even Plymouth.
Plymouth at least makes sense because they have a bigger town, but Thornton. Although the population of Thornton is higher than Woodstock or one town, but not higher than both combined. And did you say yes, we've given to them before or no?
We have not.
Not huge numbers, but quite a few.
Sorry.
Any more questions or discussion? That's the end of them. Anything else to come before the board? Do I have a motion to adjourn? Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, this is.